In Gaza, children, you learn that the sky kills and that house hurt. You learn that your blanket is smoke and breakfast is dirt. You learn that cars do somersaults, clothes turn red, friends become statues, bakers don't sell breads. You learn that the night is a gun, that toy burn, breath can't stop, it could be your turn. You learn if they send you fire, they couldn't guess, not just the soldier dies, it's you, the rest. Nowhere to run, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, in the home you know. You learn that death isn't life, the air isn't breath, the land is for all, you have the right to be not dead. The land is for all, you have the right to be not dead.
Let's go to the figurative language in Gaza Children poem. So, in Gaza Children poem by Michael Rosen uses strong figurative language to show the pain and fear experienced by children living in war through metaphors, imagery, and symbolism. So Rosen brings the harsh of reality of Gaza to life in emotional and powerful ways. So let's go to the first one is metaphor. Metaphors are used to compare war experiences with ordinary things, showing how violence changes daily life. Like the sky kills, it means the sky is not literally killing, but this metaphor means bomb and attacks come from above, turning something peaceful into deadly. And your blanket is smoke and breakfast is dirt means these metaphors show how basic human comfort and food are replaced by destruction and suffering. So metaphor in this poem make us feel how normal life is completely destroyed. The second is imagery. So imagery appeal to our senses like sight, smell, sound, and touch, helping readers imagine the horror. So, visual imagery appears in cars do somersault and clothes turn red. So it describing explosion and bloodshed. The next, the image of friends become statues. So it give a chilling visual of death and lifelessness. These vivid pictures made the reader almost see and feel the pain of the children. The last is symbolism. So, symbol in the poem represent bigger ideas about life and death. So, night is a gun. It symbolizes fear and danger that never end. Even in the night, even in the darkness when the people should rest. Next is toys burn that symbolizes the loss of innocence. The childhood itself is destroyed. The land is for all. You have the right to be not dead symbolizes hope and human right. showing that everyone deserves safety and life. So, through metaphors, imagery, and symbolism, Rosen doesn't tell us about war. He made us feel it. So, the poem reminds us that even in conflict, every child deserves peace, life, and the right to dream.
All right, so now I'm going to be explaining to you all how we can take the reading materials from this poem. Now, this poem is emotional, but to truly appreciate it, we need to look deeper to find the main idea, make inferences, and uncover the moral or message behind the poet's words. So let's start with identifying the main idea. When we read a poem, the main idea is what the poem is mostly about. In this poem, every stanza begins with "you learn," which tells us that the poem is about what children in Gaza are forced to learn because of the war. They don't learn normal childhood things like playing or reading, but they learn about death, destruction, and survival. The main idea in this poem can be stated as the poem shows how war robs children of their innocence, forcing them to grow up surrounded by loss and fear. So when reading, you always need to ask what lesson or what message does it repeat, and what do all the stanzas point towards to get the to help get feeling of what that main idea is. Next up, we have making inferences. Let's talk about making inferences. Understanding what it is implied rather than directly stating it. So, for example, you learn that night is a gun. The poet doesn't literally mean that the night becomes a weapon, but you can infer that the nighttime brings danger, making maybe something like bombings or attacks, so children associate the dark with the fear. Another example is bakers don't sell bread, so this suggests that normal life has been stopped, there's no food, no daily routine, survival has replaced ordinary living. Making inferences means using clues from the poem plus your own knowledge to understand the deeper reality. Up next, we have determining the tone and mood. The tone in the poet's attitude and the mood is how it makes you feel. At the start, the tone feels sad and helpless, but later, such as the repeat of "you have the right to be not dead," the tone changes to something more strong and defiant. The shift from pain to resistance helps readers feel hope even in tragedy. When reading any poem, notice if there's any change of feelings. This is often the key to understanding its message. Next up, we have finding the moral or message. Now, for the moral lesson, despite describing destruction, the poem ends with the powerful line, "Land is for all, you have the right to be not dead." This tells us that the poem isn't only about suffering, but it is also about human rights, dignity, and a universal desire to live in peace. So the moral could be expressed as every person, especially every child, deserves the right to live freely and safely. In other words, the poem is not about Gaza, but also about humanity. And then we can move on to evaluating the poem's purpose. Ask yourself this question: Why did the poet wrote this poem? Well, the poem gives a voice to those who cannot speak out, especially children who experience violence every day. The purpose is both to bear witness and to demand empathy and justice. When you identify the purpose, you connect emotionally and intellectually to the poem.
Next, we are going to learn about character education through a beautiful and meaningful poem titled In Gaza Children. So, from this poem, we can learn three character values. First, empty. Empty means trying to understand and feel what others feel. Dari puisi ini, kita belajar membayangkan bagaimana rasanya jadi anak-anak di Gaza. When we understand their pain, we become more caring and kind to others. Second, humanity means respecting all people, no matter where they come from. Every child deserves love, safety, and education. Sama seperti kita di sini, this poem reminds us that all lives are valuable. Third, peace. Peace means living together without hate or violence. Puisi ini mengingatkan kita bahwa kedamaian itu hal yang sangat berharga. We should keep peace in our hearts and in our daily lives. So, to conclude, In Gaza Children is more than just a poem. Puisi ini mengajarkan kita untuk membuka hati, untuk peduli, dan menghargai perdamaian. Through poetry, we don't only learn English but also learn how to be good human beings. Remember, peace begins with understanding, and empty begins with you.
In Gaza, children, you learn that the sky kills and that houses hurt. You learn that your blanket is smoke and breakfast is dirt. You learn that cars do somersaults, clothes turn red, friends become statues, bakers don't sell bread. You learn that the night is a gun, that toys burn. Breath can stop, it could be your turn. You learn if they sang you fire, they could guess. Not just the soldier dies, it's you and the rest. Nowhere to run, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. In the home you know, you learn that death isn't life, the air isn't bread. The land is for all, you have the right to be not dead. The land is for all, you have the right to be not dead.